Hi, this is Tracy from thinkyourselfdebtfree.com. I wanted to do a quick tribute to Steve Jobs, who sadly passed away. And I think he was the man that changed everything. I mean, for me personally, I love my iPhone. I don't know where I'd be without it sometimes, really. And I always go on. All my friends know they have their Blackberries and HTC phones and Ericssons, and I always go. I love my iPhone. I love my iPhone. So I just wanted to do this tribute for him, and also for me, I wanted to find out a bit about the man behind the brand, and so I've done a little research, put this together, and I hope you guys like it. So few have transformed the way we work, play and communicate as profoundly as Steve Jobs has. You know, he co-founded Apple Computers in a garage in 1970 during Silicon Valley's fairy tale days. And I was born in 1971, you know, and I think it's just amazing that he can just start something from a garage and become this multi-billion-pound company. And it just shows you that we can do anything. So if you look at my tip on the bottom, I say don't let your current circumstances stop you. So guys, if you're at home and you've got an idea and you might think, well, you know, I can't start from where I am now, you can. You know, you've just got to start in your garage, your kitchen table, your front room, you know, in your bed, in your cupboard, wherever you can. You have to start somewhere. And even if I say cupboard, I know about a successful recruitment consultancy that started in a cupboard in the house because they didn't have any space for her to have a little office. So she built an office in the cupboard. So you literally can start anywhere. And also, Steve Jobs was born in 1955 in San Francisco on the 24th of February, and he was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs in Mountain View, California. So it really doesn't matter where you come from in life, whether you're adopted, you know, you're black, you're white, you're Asian, Hispanic, you know, you're disabled, not disabled, whatever your situation is, young or old, it doesn't matter. Your past does not equal your future. You know, you can start from anywhere and be successful. And he also started from humble beginnings in the sense that, you know, now he has, you know, these massive premises, but the first 50 Apple Ones were built in his parents' spare bedroom. So, like I said before, you know, sometimes you have to take a chance, all or nothing. He had to take a chance, you know. Sometimes we might wait for the right situation to do things, to have the right money or the right expertise, and many times we just got to go for it. And he had a lot of failure. A lot of people don't know that. Sometimes we only hear about the success, but he had a lot of failure before he became successful. In 1980, the company's second computers, that was the Apple III, was launched, and it was a commercial failure. It had a really faulty construction, so obviously that didn't go very well. 1983, he launched the first personal computer controlled by on-screen icons called Lisa. And that proved unsuccessful. And then in 1984, he launched the Macintosh computer. So it had really great reviews, but disappointing sales. He didn't give up, still kept going. And then, unfortunately, in 1985, Apple closes half of its 6 factories. So imagine that. It sheds 1,200 employees and declares its first quarterly loss. And then what happens? He gets forced out of the company. So that, you know, that would have made many people just give up in 1985, but he kept going. In 1988, Jobs founded Next Computers, but it was not a financial success. So again, so he had that really bad time in 1985. Then 1988, he dusts himself off, carries on going, and then, you know, his next endeavour wasn't very successful. But what I want to highlight is if you go back to 1983, where Apple launches the Lisa, the first personal computer controlled by on-screen icons, activated by a click of a mouse. I mean, if you think of the iPhone now, this is, you know, the real age of technology. The iPhone now is actually using this technology really that he developed in 1983. So you can see what happens when you persist, you know, failure, 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 failure. And I believe failure is a key ingredient to success. So then he went from success to success. Obviously, must have had failures in there, but they weren't as huge as what happened before 1988. So in 1998, the iMac is launched, and then its design eclipses the chunky build of all the Apple's computers because it was very sleek, wasn't it, the iMac? And then 2001, the iPod goes on sale in October and proves a huge success. And I remember getting my first iPod. I remember I used to want to run and jog everywhere just so that I could use it. I know I'm very sad, but hey. 2003, the iTunes Music Store is launched in April. 2007, the first iPhone is launched. Jobs decides to drop the computer part of Apple's name. And then 2010, the iPad is launched in April, and 3 million of the devices are sold in 80 days. That's absolute nuts. 3 million in 80 days. And now there's nearly 50 million iPads are sold worldwide by the end of the year. And you know, that is a success. 15 million. And Apple's annual sales reach 65 billion. Imagine that. And remember where he came from. I mean, obviously, his sales are going to go through. This is 2010 figures. But imagine if you go back to his earlier stories from the 1970s, all the failures, making a financial loss, to come back and in 2010 make 65 billion. I tell you, that man was a genius. 2011, Apple continues to roll out new products to great demand, including iPad 2 and the iPad 4. And you know, I love my iPhone, like I said, and you know, now when I use it, it's going to actually inspire me, because I'm going to realise, to get that phone in my hand, this man went through so many failures, and me being in business, it just reminds me just to keep going. You might have hard days, and we all do, but if you've got an iPhone or iPad or any Apple product, when you look at it, just let that inspire you. For that to be on your table or desk or in your hand, that man had gone through a lot of failures, and a lot of hardship, and a lot of, you know, courage to keep going, because I think many people would have given up. So my top tip is success is the aftertaste of failure. You know, sometimes we fail, you know, but success is just around the corner, guys. And Steve Jobs had 5 keys to success, which he summed up in a quote. And it says, and I really want you to hear this as if he was speaking to you personally, regardless of what your circumstance is right now. Your time is limited. Don't waste time. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is the living the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. And I find that quite magical, because in life, so many people's opinions just drown out your own inner voice. It can't be done. You can't do this. It's not going to work. Why are you going to do this in a recession? Blah, 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 blah. You know, we've just got to listen to our own inner voice and, you know, keep going. That's what I believe, you know, and our time is limited. I've had, you know, some friends and people's parents and that have passed away recently, and they, you know, they were real, some of them were young, you know, and you never know what's around the corner. So you've just got to live your own life instead of trying to please everybody else and do the right thing. Sometimes you have to do the wrong thing for the world, but the right thing for yourself. So, what would your life be like if you applied Steve Jobs' 5 keys to success to your own circumstance right now? What would you change? Just think about that and ponder that over the next couple of days, and write a comment and let me know what happened, or if it made a difference or whatever. Just, I love your feedback. So, Steve Jobs, the man that changed everything, we thank you, you know, for he's lived from the 25th of February 1955 to the 5th of October 2011, and you will be missed, guy. You really will. You've made a complete contribution to the world and the way we do things, and wherever you are right now, you know, may you be in peace. And I just wanted to go and just scroll through some of the great things that he's done. And there's so much to mention, but obviously we know he started Macintosh, you know, the Mac operating systems, the Apple stores, which I love. If you've been in them, If you've been in them anywhere around the world, they're so great, and the staff really, really help you. When I first got my iPhone, I didn't know what the hell I was doing with it, and they just kind of like took the phone and really helped me put my apps on. The iMac, the Apple Mac, the iPhone, the iPad, the iPad Nano, iPad Air, iTunes Store, the iOS App Store, and many, many more. And also, I think of all the people he's given jobs to around the world, and all the developers and the people that make iPhone apps. You know, lots of people around the world, not just Apple staff, have been making money and been able to feed their families because of this man. And that's what it's all about. You know, in life, I think, yep, the true content of a man's life, I think, is summed up in what you left. Did you leave the world a better place than when you entered it to? And you might not do it on such a huge scale of Steve Jobs, but whichever way you've done it, no matter how big or small, you know, it's about leaving a contribution to the world. So I love Apple, as you know, and I love my iPhone, as I've said many, many times. Just tell us on the comment box what you love about Apple products. Take care. Bye.